Good day and welcome to SCO BRICS Insight, where we talk about what's really going on in the world of the BRICS. Now, I did a video a few days ago about Turkey's application to join the BRICS, and that did provoke a large number of comments from all of you who actually watched the video, so thank you for that. Also, since the announcement was made by the Turkish foreign minister, there's been a huge reaction in the press globally, and it appears that the opinion seems to be equally divided about whether it's good or bad for the BRICS. Plus, whether it's a leverage tactic by Erdogan to provoke the EU, NATO and the US. Anyway, here are my opinions on the situation. When the Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan a few days ago expressed his desire to join the organisation, stating, "We will see what we can achieve this year." Now, in the political and journalistic circles around the world, Ankar's initiative has been met with a wave of statements, some enthusiastic, some sceptical, and others quite actually incredulous. I mean, these reactions include discussions about a possible shift in NATO's stance, a change in Turkey's priorities from the European Union to the BRICS, and the potential for Turkey to become a valuable ally of Russia and the BRICS. However, the question remains, is Turkey entry into the BRICS purely beneficial for the group, and more importantly, for all the members? Firstly, for the sake of discussion, let's look at the scenario of the current BRICS bloc as if it was a global company with a board of directors operating in a multipolar world. Each of the member countries at their level of regional leaders, now Turkey's a prime example of a regional leader. Furthermore, along with Russia, India, Egypt and Iran, Ankara plays a pivotal role in Middle Eastern and European politics. It's also active and engaged in African affairs. Secondly, BRICS should include not one, but several regional leaders in order for them to balance each other out and also be able to resolve their differences diplomatically through their presence within the organisation. Now, then BRICS could successfully implement all their particular initiatives in the region. I mean, in, say, the Middle East, Africa, Asia, or Latin America, when one of their leaders is in the BRICS and the other's not, Brazil, Argentina, for example, then you could have a situation where conflicts are exacerbated, not only between the countries, but between the countries and the entire BRICS bloc. Will this external leader align with the organisation and blocs that are hostile to BRICS, like Argentina looking to join with NATO? Now, let's look at the Middle East as a good example here. And there's three such leaders in Iran, Saudi Arabia and Turkey. The Tehran and Riyadh are already members of BRICS. Turkey's entry into the organisation would provide the Middle East with a triumvirate, with an effective platform for coordinating regional policies. It certainly will help to bring much more stability to the region if those three could agree on what's going on. Thirdly, most of the 10 BRICS members countries, none of them actually belong to any of the Western blocs like the G7 or the EU. So put simply, there's no precedent of a country that's part of the collective West officially recognising BRICS as a real organisation or an important institution. In fact, the view of the US and its vassals about the BRICS is very negative, and in their media, the bloc is generally portrayed as a bunch of anti-Western countries trying to disrupt the rules-based international order. Plus, they want to cause trouble to the smooth running of the world by the US and its useful idiots in the G7. In their view, anybody who does not conform to the diktats of the US is a threat to national security. Although this time they actually might be correct, that the BRICS is serious, that the US's hegemony and dollar's dominance in global finance is going to disappear. Now, in this regard, if Turkey joins, it's likely to become the first country to take a step away from the likes of NATO. Now, I'm sure if this happens, it will provoke Washington and Brussels to publicly stand up and oppose Ankara's integration into BRICS. This will then show the world's developing nations that the United States and Europe are hypocrites, and they're still determined to continue their stranglehold on the world's major institutions and subjugate the rest of the world with their heavy-handed policies. Now, on the other hand, the Turkish initiative also has a number of disadvantages, so let's look at what they are, in my opinion. Firstly, the BRICS has long outgrown its original meaning as a community of sovereign countries. mean, this is truly a prototype of a board of directors and a tool for transforming a, a unipolar world into a multipolar world. However, for the board to work effectively, it must have an efficient and effective decision-making system, and there lies the problem. The basis of the BRICS structure is consensus, which is a historical example of the League of Nations amply demonstrates becomes increasingly challenging as the number of countries involved increases. While 10 or 11 countries may appear to be a relatively small number, the dynamics of the group are also influenced by the nature and the character of the players involved. I mean, Recep Erdogan's Turkey has consistently presented itself as a challenging negotiating partner. In addition, it's demonstrated a tendency to unilaterally cancel agreements or interpret them in a manner which is not aligned with the original intent. I mean, a good example of this is Sweden and Finland joining NATO. When the United States reached preliminary agreements with Turkey, Erdogan then exerted considerable pressure for over a year to extract concessions on various issues from both Helsinki and, well, more particularly Stockholm before agreeing to allow them in. Sweden, as usual, was the liberal pushover. Plus, for those of you who have a long memory like I have, Turkey invaded the island of Cyprus in 1974 and has illegally occupied 1/3 of the Mediterranean island, which is an EU member ever since. Now, this occupation was deemed illegal by the United Nations and under international law, but because Turkey was a useful member of NATO with bases on the front line of the Soviet Union, it got away with it. It was also, by the way, the place where NATO placed their nuclear weapons that caused the Cuban Missile Crisis back in 1963. Not everybody remembers that. It still illegally occupies northern Cyprus, but that's conveniently forgotten. But Crimea's rejoining Russia is considered a major redrawing of sovereign borders. Turkey also occupies a part of Syria, contrary to international law, but then, again, so does the United States, which also steals Syria oil and continues to sanction the country into dire poverty. So it's just a bit of Western hypocrisy to add to the spice of today's video. Thirdly, there's no evidence that Turkey in the manner of joining BRICS is not guided by the old Japanese principle, a samurai has no goal, only a path. Now, it's possible that Ankara will not join BRICS, but is using their application as some sort of game of brinkmanship with the EU, NATO, US. After all, Turkey's seen so many countries in recent years become EU members, while its application's been stalled indefinitely. So, is it this another part of the game? Now, it appears to me that Turkey's foreign policy is based on a strategy of maintaining a balance of its best interest. Now, Ankara does not possess significant natural resources, apart from some oil and gas recently discovered in the Mediterranean and Black Sea. It's got nothing like coal, iron ore, nickel, copper, lithium, or even gold. It does have a highly efficient military, and its army is the second largest in NATO. I mean, its biggest advantage as a country is it does have a strategic geographical location and a president who's adept at diplomatic negotiations. I mean, Erdogan, who exploits what he can from others, including by maintaining a balance of power between the centres of power. However, maintaining a balanced approach is crucial, as any deviation could result in opposition from key trading partners in the West or from major powers in the East. Either side may seek to unite against a pro-Western or a destructive Eastern Turkey. However, none of the analysts have, in my opinion, have really taken into account that as over the past 2 years, Turkey's become one of Russia's top 3 trading partners after China and India. I mean, Russia's also working with Turkey to build a gas hub around the Turk Stream pipeline. Plus, you have the Atalu nuclear power plant being constructed by Russia's Rosatom. Plus, there's many more trade deals and partnerships happening. Now, it could be that Turkey, and more importantly Erdogan, has come to the conclusion that working with the BRICS offers far more benefits than being a NATO member or eventually joining the EU. I also have no doubt whatsoever that Erdogan fully understands he's now negotiating with Putin and Xi in this situation, who are seasoned statesmen and serious political players, and not to be trifled with, unlike the clowns he's used to dealing with in the EU, NATO and the USA. I mean, if Erdogan attempts to play games with Putin and Xi, he will certainly realise it's a game he's going to lose, and Turkey itself will lose out from being part of an organisation which is changing the face of the world. Personally, I think that Erdogan knows what is going on and has decided that the BRICS is the future, and that he and his country would be idiots to turn down membership for some crumbs from the table of the US and the EU. Ultimately, if Turkey does not join the BRICS, this will be seen by the West as a humiliation to the BRICS and a signal that the group is weakening in its drive to achieve a multipolar world. Alternatively, if it does join, it will signal to the West that the BRICS is truly going to change the balance of power in the West. That said, will it join with a question mark and the status of being a potentially difficult partner, which could complicate the structure and workings of the organisation in the future? Well, the advantages will only outweigh the disadvantages when the world finally becomes multipolar, which is obviously the aim of the BRICS. Now, that's only going to happen when the membership of the BRICS becomes an end in itself for regional players like Turkey. Also, when they understand that to maintain peace and build towards collective prosperity, they need to work together and negotiate in good faith, rather than indulge in playing diplomatic poker. Now, thank you for watching. Now, do let me know your thoughts by the comment section, and I look forward to responding to those comments. It's been certainly entertaining for me. Now, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. If you've enjoyed this video, you can help me fund the channel and my website, SCOBRICSinsight.com, by clicking on the thanks button at the at the bottom of the screen. Thank you, and I will see you all again soon. Thank you. Take care.